Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or CSGO for short. Released on August 21st, 2012 by developer and publisher Valve, Global Offensive was the third entry into the Counter-Strike series. These games feature first-person team-based action over multiple short rounds, all contained in one longer match. Counter-Strike, in 2000, was the first standalone Counter-Strike title. After that, Counter-Strike Source became popular following its 2004 release. CSGO remains the most recent addition, receiving the occasional update to its visuals, audio, and mechanics to this day, but staying true to the original concept. Each of the two 5-person teams in this highly competitive first-person shooter, the terrorists and the counter-terrorists, battle to win the majority of the game's 30 rounds. The terrorist's goal is to plant their bomb at either bomb site A or B, and protect it until it explodes. The counter-terrorists, on the other hand, must prevent the bomb from being planted, or defuse it before it explodes. These long matches are endlessly fun and reward the most technically gifted, strategically minded, and team-friendly players with victories. However, some players didn't buy the game to play the game. In August of 2013, Valve released arguably the most successful update in CSGO history. The Arms Deal update added cosmetic items. Officially titled Weapon Finishes, you can now apply what are commonly referred to as skins to your in-game weapons, changing their appearance. Players could buy and sell these skins on the community market for a price that the market, over time, deemed fair when taking into account the item's rarity and physical appearance. Alternatively, you can unlock a case with a key for under $3 to receive a random skin from that given list. Eventually, some skins would be worth tens of thousands of real-world dollars. Collectors, traders, and even gamblers, which enters a gray legal area, can make money if they take advantage of the market. But I play none of those rules. I just like the game. In fact, we'll have to rewind to just a few months before the Arms Deal update. Enter Michael, also known as Mr. Soccer at the time. The date is March 30th, 2014. Middle school age Michael messages me on Steam.
Hey, did you get that new game I was talking about? CSGO?
We had been talking about this game he started playing recently while running in gym class, and I decided I could spare $15 this particular Sunday morning. I ran to my mom, laptop and money in hand, and asked her to help me purchase this game. With a bit of convincing, since it was an M-rated game after all and I was 13 years old, she agreed. I started the download and replied to Michael. Just did. I played Counter-Strike for hours upon hours. I loved the relatively simple concept, the number of skills and techniques I could learn, and the multiplayer aspect. After a few months of play, I started to notice more and more players who had something that I didn't: skins. Many of these skins were very visually pleasing, and to be honest, I was a bit jealous of players who had them. While playing, you are constantly bombarded with what are effectively advertisements. You can pick up weapons with skins, spectate other players holding a skin, and the cases, along with the keys necessary to open them, are advertised every time you open the game. You are conditioned to desire these cosmetic items, and as a result, you try to obtain them. Very sparsely, on occasions such as Christmas or my birthday, I would buy a small number of cases just to open for fun. Just like the lottery, there's a very small chance of opening something very rare, usually a knife skin, but most importantly, it was just fun to play. There are a few individuals who sink money into these low odd case openings, but I was not one of them. Once in a while, I'd open a case with hopeful wide eyes, no harm in that. I continued to play the game for hundreds of hours. I acquired less valuable items for every weapon over time, which the game occasionally gives you after a match, except for one: the knife. Knife skins are the most rare items to be opened for many cases, and unlike other weapon skins, they change the entire model. Knife skins offer both differently shaped and colored knives with unique and more interesting animations. Also, unlike other weapon skins, you always have your knife with you. While you may not have, for example, an AK-47 every round, you can always pull out your knife and gaze upon its glory. That's what makes these skins so desirable, the uniqueness and the frequency of use. Personally, one of my favorite models is the butterfly knife. A highly sought after knife with many different skins, butterfly knives tend to be valued a bit higher than other knives as they are endlessly fun to flip and twirl around in-game. Unfortunately, it was near impossible to open one from a case and very expensive to buy one on the market, so I gave up on that idea. For a while, that is. July 2016. After a party with a group of my friends, and not asking for anything specifically for my birthday, I had gathered $140 worth of Steam gift cards. I finally had enough money to buy one of the things I wanted all these years. I logged on, entered my gift cards, and navigated to the specific knife that I had been looking at. The battle-scarred butterfly knife Blue Steel. This knife wasn't the prettiest of the bunch, but it was relatively cheap for a butterfly knife, and I personally thought it looked really cool. The lowest listing was $99.95. Without giving it too much thought, I clicked that big green Buy Now button. It was finally mine. 14-year-old me was ecstatic. This was my biggest purchase to date on Steam, and something I had wanted for quite some time. No more wishing for the item I wanted from a case, or gazing in envy at other players in the game. I had what I wanted. I messaged one of my good friends, Sander, better known as Sandyman31 online. I've always thought of him as a cool-headed, logical person, and I wondered how he would react to the news of my purchase. Hey, I just bought a knife, lol. Butterfly Blue Steel for around 100. I saw that he was typing and awaited his response. To be honest, I'm not sure what I was expecting, considering he tends to be fairly conservative in his spending habits. I wasn't fully prepared for what he asked me.
Why?
I wasn't exactly sure what to say. Not only did I fail to give Sander a complete answer in the moment, but I couldn't come up with one on my own. Admittedly, it didn't seem like the most logical decision in the world. I acted off of pure instinct and desire without really thinking about the why. I had to prove to myself that the virtual knife had some sort of value to me. I needed to find exactly the reason I bought it, or, if I was to think logically at all, I would have to sell it. For the next few days, I continued to play and self-reflect. Gameplay wasn't any better. In fact, it wasn't really different at all. Unlike those gamblers, collectors, and traders, I played the game for so long because I genuinely enjoyed it, not because of the value of these cosmetic items. To put it simply, I had just spent $100 on some different colored pixels. On the other hand, this was clearly not a regular unhealthy behavior. Even though there is no tangible benefit, or even tangible product, I had more fun. Over hundreds of hours, I kept playing, both regular matches and community game modes. I genuinely enjoyed looking at and playing with the knife, and the occasional "nice knife, dude" from a teammate was always appreciated. In a way, it became part of my experience, representing, to this day, all of the good times spent in that game. I realized over time that it wasn't about the tangible benefits, but the feeling. It would have been unwise if I tried to justify my purchase logically. Similarly, many people who play the lottery from time to time realize their chances of winning, their chances of seeing any sort of tangible benefit, is near zero. But that doesn't mean playing the lottery is pointless. People play for the experience. For a few days, you feel a bit better, fantasizing about what you could do with the winnings. You pay $2 for that feeling, and if it doesn't become an unhealthy addiction, that's perfectly reasonable. This purchase did not cause any long-term negative effects, and this is the only time I've ever made such a purchase. The only downside is I lost a bit of money. Once in a while, I learned, you shouldn't be scared to use your hard-earned money or time on something that will make you happier, no matter how illogical it seems. From a financial standpoint, it wasn't a great decision. Now I look at that knife, my most prized virtual possession, and I think about all the fun times I've had with it. Occasionally treating yourself to something that makes you happy should not be avoided in favor of a constant stream of perfect financial decisions, especially if the cost is minor. Life is short. Live it to the fullest.